So, I've wanted to make this video for a while now, but I've been a little nervous and embarrassed because I don't want it to look like I'm sorry for myself or to make a pity party, but it's important, and I know I'm not the only one who struggles with it, and I know what it's like to feel alone and like no one understands, and I don't want anyone to feel that way. So I hope this helps. I'm Quinn. I'm 18 years old, and I struggle with depression and anxiety since probably, I think, second grade. Depression and anxiety are two different things, but they go hand in hand with me. So, first off, what does it feel like? I'll start off with depression. Well, depression is a pretty tricky thing to explain. It's hard to make sense of it because it really doesn't make any sense. At least to me, it doesn't. Well, people who have depression do not choose to be sad. They don't really have control over it. It's pretty frustrating. You feel hopeless, apathetic, lonely, no energy or interest to do activities that you normally enjoy. It's like well, this is going to sound kind of cheesy, but it it's like you're in a fog that you can't see through. All you can see is just the fog. Um, you can't really go anywhere, you're just stuck. Also, sometimes there isn't really a reason why you're sad. You just are. Like, some mornings I'll wake up and I feel so depressed that I have trouble getting out of bed. And there's really no reason for it other than depression. Like, everything could be fine, but I could still be so depressed. Then there's anxiety, and that's the thing that's really frustrating, and it doesn't just come with bad things. I can feel anxiety from just being happy. If I'm happy or calm, I feel like, my mind just won't allow it. I feel like I have to always be worried about something, or if I'm calm, then I'm forgetting to do something, or it just doesn't make any sense. And then when I'm upset, I just, even over the littlest thing, it needs to turn to something even bigger than it really is, or I start remembering other things that make me upset, and it just takes over my mind. I can't stop thinking about it, and it just, I can't shake it off. It won't leave my head. And then when the anxiety really kicks in, it, I just, I can't think straight. My mind goes completely blank. My heart's racing. I have trouble breathing. I'm just stuck. I can't get out of it. The only way I can really describe it is, like, imagine you're in a car and you're just driving down an empty road. So you go a little faster and a little faster, and then all of a sudden you just slam on the brakes. No reason. You just slam on them. And you get, you're shocked. You're in whiplash. You can't think. You're just sitting there. Like, what just happened? And that is exactly how I feel, like, when I get all this anxiety. And it happens to me, just in the middle of a school day, hanging out with people, I don't know, going to bed. It just pops up. Part two, how does it affect me? Well, with school, as you can imagine, it is hard to get a lot of things done. With anxiety and depression, sometimes I can tell when it's coming. It can build up, or there can be, I can just notice, um, some of the triggers. But there are times when it's unexpected and it kind of just hits me. And unfortunately, sometimes it happens when I'm just doing, schoolwork in class or a test or whatever, and I'll just panic, or I'll just start crying. Even, and not that like I'm panicked about the test, or the schoolwork. There isn't a reason. I just can't do it, and I can't be in a room with people. I go down to the nurse, and I just have to sit there and calm myself down. And then with the depression, there's the whole apathetic thing again, where you just feel so tired and depressed and you don't care. It's pretty frustrating to me and frustrating for my teachers. Some of them don't understand and they'll keep asking if I'm just trying to skip class. I promise you I'm not. Another way it affects me is with relationships. Well, with depression, I'm not the most fun person to be around. I can be distant or a downer, not very friendly and talkative. But what really affects relationships is anxiety. And yeah, it's pretty scary for me to make friends. I don't know, I get really nervous and I'm doubting everything I say. I'm afraid that I'm going to creep them out or something. I mean, it's not easy for me to go up and say hi to someone. And then when I do make friends, oh my god, I'm so annoying. I get so scared. I feel like they're not going to like me anymore, or I don't know, they're going to be creeped out, and like I'm totally fine, but I keep feeling like, I don't say anything really bad. I'm fine, but I'm just, I'm scared. I'm scared that, they won't like me anymore. I've actually read through some of my messages the other day that I've sent like people, and I realized that I'm constantly apologizing. I don't know. It's so weird. Like I'll say something that I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Am I being creepy? Or was I annoying today?" It's it's. I mean, that's annoying, but I think a lot of it links back to when I was younger. I mean, I don't want to get too much into it, but I was bullied since like second grade. Um, I mean, I was also like this weird kid. I would say the most randomest things. Um, and I had a lot of trouble making friends. I was called like creepy and weird. If I made a friend, then their other friends would be like, "Oh, well, we don't want to hang out with you if you're hanging out with her." And then I had friends to fourth grade to sixth grade who weren't really friends. I didn't know it at the time, but they were pretty much bullies. They hung out with me, but they were afraid to tell their other friends that I was friends with them. And then when they did tell people, it was because they thought it'd be funny to like make fun of me or spread rumors or whatever. Like, I remember I was invited to this one birthday party and we went to this amusement park. And these girls that I was friends with, they thought I cried easily, so they thought it'd be funny to leave me in the middle of the amusement park, kind of just ditch me where I couldn't find them, because they wanted to make me cry. And then middle school came, and like middle school is awful, and I remember just I'd make friends, and then I'd see like these girls like pull people over who were friends with me, and they just whisper to them, and they'd look at me and they'd look back, and they just wouldn't talk to me again. And it just I've gotten over it over the years, but I think that really affected me. But enough about all that happy stuff, because I don't want to make this video too depressing. I don't want it to just be me complaining, because even though I struggle with it, I have been learning coping skills, and I'd like to share some of them. First is anxiety. Now, what really helps me is, you have anxiety, it's hard to sort things out. There's a million different things going through my head, and it's easy to forget things. So I carry around a calendar, and also an assignment book, and I write down my whole month and assignments and all that. I try to stay organized. I also write down a list every day of how, kind of like a schedule of what I'm going to do, what I'm going to eat, what time, certain times I'm gonna do like school, like homework. Well, of course I'm doing schoolwork. I'm in school, but like certain assignments, what time I exercise, downtime, all that, because I can't sort it out in my head. I have to see it on paper because everything's like chaos. But of course, even with coping skills, I can't just stop feeling depressed or anxiety. Um, I can't just go out to a movie and stop feeling depressed. I can't just do something, you know. Um, I can't control how I feel a lot of the time, but I can control how I deal with it and how I get through my day. So mostly with depression, I just tell myself, what, this isn't me. This is the depression. I will get through this. When I'm feeling depression, I try not to just keep it to myself. I always tell someone. I try not to be alone because when you're very depressed and alone, that's not good. So I always try to be at least in a room with someone. I jog every day. I write. I'm if I can't do something during the day, I go to the nurse's office and I just chill there and I talk to the people there, and that helps a lot. But that's how I cope, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sorry for how awkward I am. It's just it's not the most comfortable topic for me, but I feel like people go through this, but not a lot of people want to talk about it. And it's good to hear when someone else, understands. So if you're struggling, you are not alone, and you're strong, and you can get through this. Just a few more weeks of school,